How's it going, everyone? Chris here, and welcome back to another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Countdown video. We only have 19 days left until the game's release on December 7th, and today we are going to be talking about the evidence for Bandana Waddle Dee as a DLC character. As always, and I cannot stress this enough, just because there is all of this evidence supporting Bandana Waddle Dee's inclusion, it does not guarantee that he is going to be in the game, so make sure you take it with a grain of salt and realize that I'm talking about this just for fun. If you guys would like a link to the original PowerPoint, I will leave a link to it in the description bar down below, and I just gotta tell you guys that once again, this PowerPoint was not made by me, but it was made by one of my subscribers named iBrawler, so special shout out to you, my man. I will go ahead and leave a link to his channel in the description, as well as pin his comment, so if you guys want to say thank you, go ahead and do so there. And now, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and start talking about the evidence for Bandana Waddle Dee as a DLC character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Introduction. Hello, this is a PowerPoint on why I feel that Bandana Dee is possible for DLC. I feel like Bandana Dee has a decent amount of factors going for him and isn't completely out of the question for a fourth Kirby representative. I would just like to state that I am in no way saying that I think Bandana Waddle Dee will 100% be added for DLC, I just feel that he has a decent shot. However, if you feel like Bandana Dee shouldn't be added to Smash or has no chance, that's perfectly fine. I'm doing this mostly for fun, and I understand that Bandana Dee just isn't the right pick for some people. With that out of the way, let's get started. Hints leaning towards Bandana Dee. I would like to point out some hints that could indicate Bandana Dee possibly being playable DLC in Smash Ultimate. First off, as many of you know, King Dedede got a new Final Smash in Ultimate, which shows Masked Dedede spinning around and attacking the opponent. So right there, that is a photo. I'm not going to click on any of the links, but like I said, I will leave a link to it in the description, so you guys can go ahead and click on these links. It basically just shows King Dedede's Final Smash, and there's no Bandana Waddle Dee in the background. This attack came from the game Kirby Superstar Ultra. However, if you look closely, you can see that Bandana Waddle Dee is nowhere to be seen during this short clip. But in the actual Masked Dedede boss fight, Bandana Dee is the only one in the audience. Why would Sakurai leave out such a simple yet interesting detail out of the clip? Maybe Bandana Dee isn't part of this clip because it could possibly mean he's going to be playable. Second hint. In Kirby Star Allies, Bandana Dee has a description of himself that may depict his inclusion in Smash. Take a look. So there is, once again, a description there, so if you guys want to see it, just go ahead and click on the link. You can find it in the description. As you can see, the description says that he turned down something when he was practicing his spear moves and that he deserves a prize. Could that prize and thing that he turned down possibly be a spot in Smash? There may only be two possible hints that could mean nothing, but they shouldn't just be overlooked. So the picture down there in the bottom right is actually the picture that he is talking about. What would Bandana Dee bring to the table? Bandana Dee spearheads the fight. Well, for one, we don't have a single spear user in Smash, so Bandana Dee could be the first. His spear copter, spear throw, and spear jab attacks would work perfectly in the game. Before you say something like, just a spear isn't interesting enough for Smash, I couldn't agree more. In Kirby Battle Royale, Bandana Dee is seen using a parasol as his main weapon over a spear. Sakurai would definitely be able to manage having him use both his spear and his parasol attacks, and while I'm kind of against it, you could also throw in a few beam attacks into his moveset. Super Smash Flash 2 has a very unique and fun moveset for him, which can be seen here. So if you guys haven't seen Bandana Waddle Dee in Super Smash Bros. Flash, it is a fan-made game, and Bandana Dee, Sora, Goku, a bunch of really requested fan characters are playable in it, so you guys can check that out if you would like to. What's so special about him? He's a Waddle Dee in a hat. Yes, this is true. However, Bandana Dee has been able to set himself apart from his carefree race. Bandana Dee stands out as the Waddle Dee that is capable of fighting for himself, and is not only Dedede's most loyal servant, but also one of Kirby's best friends. Bandana Dee, unlike all of the other Waddle Dees, is brave and is willing to help Kirby or Dee in any way that is needed. He has become an established character and is currently an official part of the Dream Squad. Bandana Dee represents the Waddle Dees and shows that they're not just all weaklings. If Bandana Dee is nothing more than just another Waddle Dee, then why does he get his own icon in Kirby Star Allies? Why does he get his very own stickers in Kirby Planet Robobot along with the other Dream friends? Why even bother giving him the name Bandana Waddle Dee if he's just another Waddle Dee? Sure, he used to just be known as Waddle Dee, but eventually he got a name change because he's seen as a different character. Hal sees him as his own character that has worked super hard just to distinguish himself from the rest of his race. Bandana Dee hasn't had a truly important role in a Kirby game. Sure, his importance isn't the same as Meta Knight's or King Dededee's, but Bandana Dee is the fourth most important character in the series. Also, he has had important roles in Kirby games. In Kirby Battle Royale, he was Kirby's battle partner and was basically the one who would speak for the team since Kirby can't talk. He is your partner throughout the entire game and even helps out during the final boss fight. Also, in Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, Bandana Dee is the only other playable option for multiplayer. He even controls the Street Pass for games like Kirby Triple Deluxe and Kirby Planet Robobot. Sure, he isn't playable in those games, nor is he relevant to the story, but he does appear in both games assisting Kirby. Why would they have Bandana Dee controlling Street Pass when they could have just had a normal Waddle Dee or another character doing it? Bandana Dee has played a somewhat noticeable role in quite a few Kirby games. Why Bandana Dee over characters like Marx or Magolor? Well, Bandana Dee may not have nearly as many flashy or cool attacks as these characters, but that's all they really have over him. Marx has only had a major appearance in one Kirby game, 2 if you count Superstar and Superstar Ultra as separate games, and has just disappeared within the Kirby franchise since then until Star Allies. As for Magolor, he may be a relevant character in modern Kirby that has appeared in multiple modern Kirby games, but after Kirby returned to Dreamland, his whole villain persona and role ended and he just became another friend of Kirby. Plus, we already have a rival of Kirby, which is King Dedede. He may not technically be a villain, but he is still Kirby's biggest rival and is still the antagonist of some modern Kirby games like Kirby Battle Royale. Bandana Dee has had perfect attendance since Return to Dreamland and is a very iconic character within the Kirby franchise and is seen as one of the main 4 characters. If we're getting a new Kirby rep, it's most likely going to be him. Bandana Dee is part of a race with millions of other Waddle Dees. Yeah? Same could be said for characters like Yoshi and every Pokemon except for Mewtwo. There are millions of Yoshis and Pikachus out there, except unlike those two, Bandana Dee actually differentiates himself from his race by wielding a spear and wearing a bandana so you can tell him apart from other Waddle Dees physically. There's nothing truly special about the Lucario in Smash Bros. And a normal Lucario in a Pokemon game, except one is in Smash and the other isn't. Yoshi even got a new Final Smash where an entire army of Yoshis trample over your opponent, so I doubt Bandana Dee being a part of a very common race will matter. Also, should I even bother mentioning Piranha Plant? Isn't Bandana Dee an obscure character? Bandana Dee is far from being obscure. In fact, he's part of the race of the second most iconic Kirby characters in the games, Waddle Dees. Waddle Dees have much more merchandise than characters like Meta Knight and King Dedede and are very well known by casual gamers and Nintendo fans alike. You obviously can't include a normal Waddle Dee into Smash, so that's where Bandana Dee comes in. He would represent the Waddle Dees if he were to become a fighter. Bandana Dee himself is quite iconic as well, since games like Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Kirby's Rainbow Curse, and Kirby Star Allies are all games that he is playable in that have been played by many people. Plus, as stated earlier in Kirby Planet Robobot and Kirby Triple Deluxe, Bandana Dee is in charge of Street Pass and gives you food when you're about to fight a boss, so he has at least been acknowledged by players in those games. Sakurai hates modern Kirby. Well, I won't lie, Sakurai does prefer his own creations over the more modern creations. Keep in mind that his bias against something doesn't instantly mean it has no chance in Smash. Look at Ridley. Sakurai hated the thought of making Ridley playable, but after years he's finally playable. Plus, Bandana Dee is technically a creation of Sakurai's since his first appearance was in the sub-game Megaton Punch for Kirby Superstar. Sure, his role was extremely minor back then, but that still means that Bandana Dee does belong to Sakurai. Also, Sakurai is beginning to acknowledge modern Kirby more since Kirby and Dee's final smashes are both inspired from modern games. Plus, Magolor, Suzy, and Kirby's robots are all spirits, which are all from modern Kirby games. What would Bandana Dee bring for the bundle? That's easy. Sure, Bandana Dee may not have an official theme or stage to call his own, but that doesn't mean he can't just use one from a modern Kirby game. There's a huge lack of themes and stages from modern Kirby, and I feel that Bandana Dee would be the perfect way to fix that problem. For a stage, he could have Cookie Country from Return to Dreamland, Dee's stage from Kirby Superstar Ultra, Dee's Castle remade from Kirby Star Allies, or a stage from Kirby Planet Robobot. For a song, I think it would be cool if he would bring the Masked Dee theme. Most Kirby fans can admit that it's a sick music track that would make beating up your opponents all the more satisfying. Kirby's Return to Dreamland main theme and boss battle theme would make sense too, since there's plenty to pick from. Wasn't base roster his best chance? I do agree that Bandana Dee's chances have been affected due to base roster being completed. Bandana Dee would have been a simple character to include on the banner and just seems like he would fit better in the base roster over DLC. However, this doesn't ruin his chances completely because as we know, Nintendo is choosing the DLC and they will most likely choose more popular and well-known characters because they would bring in more money. Characters like Rayman, Sora, and Banjo and Kazooie are all pretty much in the same position, except they are third party. Bandana Dee, like it or not, is the most popular pick for a first party character to add to Smash Ultimate that hasn't been included yet. Plus, some people thought that Bandana Dee didn't really deserve a cinematic reveal due to him not being one of the more major characters that would bring in loads of hype. Revealing him as DLC would be the perfect way to show that he's in the game, but his reveal wouldn't take nearly as much time and effort to make as it would if he was in the base roster. Why would Nintendo even choose him? Well, with Star Allies coming out not too long ago and still adding DLC, Bandana Dee could possibly be added to promote the game. It's a stretch, I know, but it is very possible. Also, Bandana Dee does extremely well on fan ballots and is extremely popular in Japan, so many people would buy him if he were added. Finally, if he became a fighter, it would complete the full dream friend group of Kirby, Meta Knight, King Dedede, and Bandana Dee. Kirby only has 3 reps, so one last one wouldn't hurt at all. Conclusion. This overall is why I think Bandana Dee has a decent shot at DLC. He has a lot of support behind him and would fit in perfectly with the rest of the roster. Bandana Dee may not be the coolest character or the flashiest character, but to me and to many other people, he's a likable, fun character who could add a fun and new playstyle to Smash and has earned a slot because of his great attendance in modern Kirby games and how hard he worked just to differentiate himself from the other Waddle Dees. I believe that the little guy deserves a chance to shine in Smash, and adding him in would be like a dream for many people. Thanks for reading. So now guys, now that we've gone over all of this evidence, do you guys believe that Bandana Dee is going to make it in as a DLC character? Personally, I do. I think it's time for us to get another Kirby representative in Smash, and Bandana Dee seems like the most perfect one. But once again, guys, let me know what you thought about this PowerPoint in the description bar down below. I am very interested to hear your comments and stuff like that, so yeah. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, share, and like, and I will see you guys next time.